I see great, at this time in the vision, great snowstorms, great ice, great cold at certain times or certain places of America. Just has never happened like that in these places. Down in the southern states up along our eastern seaboard, spreading inland towards Washington, towards mid-America. And then, but the drought seemed, if I can recall correctly, seemed to be in mostly our farm belts. Center America, wheat farms and stuff. And the storms, the winds, my gosh. Give me a good hurricane and a place to get my rear end under cover. These winds that I see, and I was sure, will rip a lot of those covers off my rear end is trying to be protected by. Huge winds, just washing across the lands. I saw mostly everything I was showing was the USA. A little overlap into Canada. And some of the vision, not necessarily the weather part, but involved a little bit of South America and Mexico. And gosh, folks, we're going to be hit left and right. We're going to be slammed from our bottom of our feet right down the top of our head. We're going to be like we're in a compressor that compresses an old car and makes it into a chunk of metal. But we're going to be really tiny, each of us, just whipped, beat, trod, dying, a lot of dying. The East Coast looks really bad. I saw lots of freight cars draped in black cloth. Soft, light cloth, like crepe paper. Now that doesn't mean that that is going to actually happen, but it was showing the semblance of what it's about. These freight cars were loaded with bodies, men and women and children. Starved bodies. Bodies sick from strange diseases that have died. Oh, gosh, that East Coast, it gets hit real hard, really hard. And the freight trains haul the bodies to the Dakotas and throw them in the great Auroras because they're dying so dang fast, no caterpillar cat can keep up with digging holes. Well, they put them in the Auroras because the holes are already made. Just pull up alongside there and tilt the beds or whatever, and the bodies spill out and fall down into those great holes. And then they go back and get more, and more, and more, and more. You wonder if it'll ever end. Our children. You know, it's bad enough, adults, but our children. And you Indians, if you think that you're going to miss out, boy, you better have another thing coming. It's going to be all across the USA. Sure, it's going to get hit hardest from the East Coast. At least the trains are coming from that way. But I'll guarantee you, death is going to be so great in the United States. You wonder if there's an engineer able to pull the throttle on a freighter, on the train's front end. Terrible, folks. We're bringing this all on ourselves. You idiots. I'm part of it, and every one of you are part of it. You wonder where you're going to get the money to pay your gasoline for your car or your heat. And then you wonder where you're going to come up with all that show and tell, like the new jet water ski and the new car. And I tell you, you're worried about the wrong dang things. There's something far more important than keeping up with the Joneses. It's keeping your heart right with the Creator. Living the way you were supposed to live in love. The way you were born, so innocent. Into a so-called sinful disobedience to God, that's what that means, world. You were never born a sinner. No man or woman is. No child is born a sinner. But they're born into it and accept it, and they just start feeding on it, and then they start throwing that food out as they go on to other little innocents, so that they follow after mama and daddy. Forget God, go get a jet ski. Jeez, you're idiots. You're bringing it on yourself. And there's some of you that have got to pay the price. They really shouldn't pay the price because they are right. But the majority rules. And because you're bringing it down on you, you're bringing it down on everybody. Earthquakes. All over the place. My gosh, don't lay down on some beach to get a sunbath at some time, I tell you. Little cracks. Like human hair that fall on a piece of paper. Nobody's going to fall in a little crack. But it's just spread out from bigger cracks, like breaking an egg. You got a big opening, but a lot of little cracks in the shell. It's all over. And these earthquakes are going to be gigantic, and they're so many, so big, that it affects the whole land called North America. Little cracks, like the eggshell. And it goes into Canada. I don't, like I said, everything I saw was showing this country called America, but overlaps into little South America, Mexico, and Canada. Evidently these places, well, they got their own problems, and don't know how bad it's going to be for them, but I don't see good for them. America, the leader. Yes, we are the leader. Leader of so-called democracy, freedom. Well, the leader agreed. The leader of do it our way. The leader of pride, self-ego. We're the leaders. And we're going to fall big time. And we're going to drag a lot of people down with us when we do it. All around this great turtle to call our mother. It has to start somewhere, America. Raise your hand, thank God. Hey, we started the new movement. We started the destroying time. Kiss your rear goodbye, you idiots. It's worse than this world has ever known, even during the 4 previous flips. Far worse. Madness. Madness here in America. People going bug nuts. Not for bugs, although people will be eating those too. Anything to survive. Anything. Even your little kid. A long pig. A hank of bone and a piece of hair. A little 3-year-old baby killed so that you could live just a few more weeks. You're going to face one very, very disgusted creator. Long pigs. Eat your own kind. Murdering. Murdering just because you can. Murdering for food.